Trash Talking Tuesday. I have plans here for 2 weeks because this week I'm prepping for my mum coming. Next week mum's going to be here, so I'm going to get as many videos done before she comes. So then I'm not doing that many while she's here. I don't mind doing a few, but I don't want to be doing loads because they take on average like an hour and a half to edit. So I don't do anything fancy because my computer can't hide fancy edits, so sorry. Right, this week, if she says this, she'll probably eat me for breakfast, but I don't care. Is Freelee. Now, I'll start this off by saying a few things. Number one, I'll never be vegan. I am actually an ethical omnivore. Where I live, even though it's a city, I am pretty blessed to be able to source my meat from farms nearby. We have, within 15 minutes driving distance, there's an allotment 5 minutes that way. There's farms just outside of Clifton, which is about 15 minutes that way by car. So, and a lot of the butchers in town that we go to, a lot of their meat is sourced from surrounding farms where the animals are treated well, treated ethically, and killed quickly. Now, obviously the legislation in each country is different. We do have strict legislation in this country about what can and can't be in meat products and stuff such like that. And a lot of farm animals in this country are actually grass-fed. I actually use a perfect example. My husband's uncle also runs a farm down south, and he has sheep. And every year they are on, I think it rotates in between three pastures. They are well looked after. They are well kept. They are sheared, I think, twice a year. And they're well looked after, as are the chickens. The chickens have a whole huge, well, it's not a huge field, but it's a big field. There's only about 20 chickens, and where they actually live is like 3 times bigger than this house. So, not all farms are battery farms, and you know, the animals are kept in barns. Even though we're such a small island, a lot of farms in this country do pride on being free range and ethical to source meat. Like I say, I try my best. There are times I can't do it, obviously, but with me being on a budget, but where I can, I do. I do try and get free range eggs. My mum also gets lots of eggs off friends that have allotments with chickens, so we get a lot of eggs from them. Yes, I enjoy my milk. I'm never going to stop enjoying my milk, I'm sorry. So I'll never be vegan. I do have respect for vegans, but not all vegans. This week's Trash Talking Tuesday and next week's are both vegans, and they are not very nice. But I doubt this is gonna even be a blip on their radar because I'm too small of a YouTuber. But there's a couple of reasons why I want to talk about Freelee. There are a lot of issues surrounding Freelee that aren't nice, and she's claiming things that aren't true, and I have notes for Freelee and for the next one. So I will start with Freelee, and then I'll do the next week's Truth Talk Tuesday straight after, so that they're done back to back, and then I can edit them ready. And I've got I'm going to do a Writers Wednesday this week, and then a We're Either Wednesday next week. The collab isn't going to happen until after that because the lady in question is very busy this week, as am I. So we've postponed it for a couple of weeks because she's got a release coming up and stuff, so she wants to come on to talk about that. And I'll probably do some Truth Talking Thursdays out to me cat book. So, right, let's get on to Freelee. She's very much a bully, and she also uses her militant veganism in that if you're not a strict vegan, then you are the worst thing on this planet. You should die, you should be killed, etc. She also uses bullying tactics. If she sees this video and she decides to do a video on me, I can guarantee you she's going to use my weight. Now, I'll give you a brief overview, but above there's a video that goes into more detail. I was a size 16 to 18. And then I started putting weight on, and we couldn't figure out why. Then I had a blood test. My thyroid doesn't work properly. So that's why I keep putting weight on, losing it, putting weight on, losing it, because my thyroid's not working properly. Also on top of that, I have a condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is genetic, and I've had it since birth. Which means there are a lot of physical things I cannot do. I can't sit in an office chair, which is the job I'm trying to do, for hours on end. When I edit videos, I'm led down editing videos. I'm not sat up editing videos, I'm led down. You can't lie down editing things at a job. And I use a laptop so that I can move around. I do the same with my streams. If you ever watch any of my streams, you'll know that I move around a lot. So, but there's a video up above which goes into every single one of my medical conditions and why they affect my weight. Let's get on with it. Attacks people's appearance and uses that to make a point. Now, this is commonplace all the time. The amount of times that people have seen videos she's put on Instagram of her ridiculing people because they're fat, and the amount of times that she's said about certain YouTubers the fact they should just give up, why they're so fat, particularly people like Trisha, and I try my best to stay away from her. The only person that I actually get any information about from is Vegan Cheetah. Now, about 50% of what Vegan Cheetah says is doesn't make any sense to me. But some of it, there are aspects of things that he says that do sort of make sense, especially when it comes to Freelee. And the way Freelee has been with him, and the way she's been with other people, including her ex, makes me wonder. She claims she has qualifications when she doesn't. She claimed in an interview, I can't remember whether it was an Australian Good Morning programme or a British one, and she claimed to have nutritional qualifications through a university in Australia. Then the university in Australia were forced to release a statement saying that she doesn't. She also acknowledged that there have been some people that have put weight on with Roto 4. There is one that, it's a handful actually. If I can remember which videos they are, I will let you know. If not, just type in Roto 4 makes me fat and you'll find her. Made me fat. And she knows that they happen. And she says that it happened because either they weren't following her plan properly, or that it was metabolic damage, which technically doesn't exist. This is one that relates to me again. Ignores that medical conditions have an impact on people's weight, such as, I'll use Shy Curves as an example, myself, Kendall Ray. I use those three as an example, but I will also factor in another person who's probably the complete opposite of us. Me. Now, Kendall Ray's probably the smallest out of the three of us, and I'm not sure who's bigger between me and Shy Curves. I think I might be in the middle, because I'm only, here in the UK I'm a size 22, so that means in the US I'm a size 16 to 18. So I think Shy Curves is something like 22 in the US, I'm not sure though. I'm just guessing on that one. But Shy Curves has PCOS, which does have an impact on your weight. Now, yes, the issue will resolve itself or lessen if she lost some weight. One of my conditions, lots of people say would lessen if I lost weight, but it wouldn't, which is the EDS. EDS, I'd still suffer from it even if I lost weight. My cousin, who's, I think she's about 9 stone, she was big, and she still suffers now the same way she did when she was bigger, and she's thin. Well, she's not skinny, but she's thin. And then you've got Kendall Ray. Now, me and Kendall Ray have one thing in common. We've got an underactive thyroid, which does affect how strong your metabolism is. And it affects lots of other stuff, but that is one of the main factors. Yes, it is controlled by medication, but mine is in a constant state of flux. I have to have my blood tested every 3 months to keep an eye on the levels, which reminds me I'm due for my blood test next month. So I have to have my blood tested every 3 months to make sure I'm at the right levels. And I know Kendall, I don't know whether Kendall's is stable or not, but mine isn't. It never has been. But it was the reason why I put on so much weight. This isn't my heaviest. My heaviest was when I was at university. When I graduated from university, I was a size 28 here in the UK. So I was a lot bigger than I am now. But on the flip side of that, you have Ellie from Ellie and Jared. Now, the reason why I say she's sort of the opposite is, yes, she has PCOS, which is polycystic ovaries. However, she has we think she has an overactive thyroid, which means that her metabolism is too fast, whereas my metabolism is too slow. I have meds to try and speed it up, but like I said, mine's in a constant state of flux. Hers, I don't think there is any medication to slow it down. But she has I think she has hyperactive thyroid, whereas I have hypoactive thyroid, which is underactive, not overactive. So, those medical conditions do affect your weight. EDS affects your weight because I can't go to a gym. I can't work out the way that Freelee does. I can't bicycle the way Freelee does, because if I did that, I would be in hospital. As it stands, I currently live with a partially dislocated left hip and the rest of my joints popping out whenever they want, including my ribs. Now, another reason why I'm not allowed in a gym is because I used to weightlift before my EDS got worse. And as a result of that, I know if I step foot in a gym, I'm going to start weightlifting again, which is going to cause even more damage. So the only exercise that I can do is swimming, but I can't do that because I've got skin conditions that don't react well to bleach or chlorine in the water. So I'm trying my best to lose weight, but I have to do it in a specific way that doesn't involve putting my body through too much crap, because my body can't handle too much crap. She knows that veganism is expensive in countries where they don't have a lot of fruit, native fruit that's grown in that country. We use the UK as a perfect example. Today's a nice warm day. We don't get many of these. I know we're scheduled to have them this week and next week, but for all we know, that could be it for summer in this country. We don't get a prolonged summer to have certain types of fruits and vegetables to be grown in this country. There are some fruits and vegetables you can get in this country, but not a lot. And a lot of the stuff that is imported is expensive. Perfect example, punita strawberries, where you may get about 13, 14 strawberries in it. You're talking £4. And a lot of us don't have the money to do that. We live on a budget. Everything we do is on a budget because we don't have the money to be spending on hundreds of pounds on fruit that's not even going to be ripe for another 3 weeks, or is past ripe and there's no point buying it because it's going to go rotten before you get a chance to eat it. So states that if you eat the right stuff, you won't be iron or B12 deficient. Now, I'm going to go into B12 more next week because it's more relevant in the next one. But I'm actually going to use an example. Near where we live, we have a vegan lady. And every time we see her, she's always telling me about how she has to go to the doctor to have her iron and B12 shots. Because she doesn't get enough iron and B12. And she says, I eat this, I eat that, I eat this and I eat that, but I'm still deficient. And there have been studies that have revealed that unless you have certain enzymes in your body's not going to extract the B12 or the iron out of, say, the seeds or the greens or nuts or any of that. There's a lot of people that can't extract that, so they can be eating all the iron-rich things in the world, but they won't be getting enough iron to stay healthy. Now, the best source for iron is red meat. The same with B12. And it's the type of iron our body doesn't need an extra enzyme to break down and use or create from something else. The same with the B12. Obviously, each have a different effect on the body. The B12 I'll go into next week. The iron gives you dizzy, makes you tired, makes you lethargic, makes you just generally So, she also picked drama with people. She did the whole thing with Tana. Now, I know Tana's not my favourite person, but she picked drama with Tana. She's picked drama with vegan cheats at God knows how many times. She picks drama with her ex all the time, especially on Tumblr. Oh my god. She'll pick drama with anybody who doesn't believe in the same rhetoric as she does. Now, like I said, I have respect for vegans. However, if you start turning around and saying, just because I eat meat, I shouldn't be alive, then I'm sorry, but that is going too far. That is being militant. People can still have some form of harmony even if they disagree on things. Perfect example. A friend of mine, she was vegan for a couple of years, and this happened in her teen years, and she didn't eat any meat or any dairy or poultry, anything, eggs, nothing. She didn't touch any of it, and she, as a result, she has no canine teeth. She now eats meat again, and she loves her meat. But I think she lasted, I think it was 3 years, but she has no canine teeth because of it. She also pays people for promo videos, such as Trisha. Trisha is the queen of drama. She's always involved in some form of drama, and she involves herself in drama constantly. Do I need to mention the word show? And as a result, because there was the whole thing where she was Freelee was calling out Trisha because Trisha was eating chicken all the time, etc., so on and so forth. And then she paid Trisha for a promo because Trisha has a lot more followers than Freelee does, and that didn't work. I don't think it worked. And then she went to see Jenna Marbles, but instead of being on a main channel video with Jenna, which has multiple millions of subscribers, she was on a podcast, which I refuse to watch. It's probably the only podcast I refuse to watch. I don't know if I've watched all the others, just not that one. Sorry, but no, it's life. Jenna, I don't mind Jenna being a vegan, or Julian, because they don't push it down people's throats. No, they don't throw it down in people's faces. Jenna doesn't mention it in every video that she does. Julian doesn't mention it in every vlog that he does. Whereas Freelee is, you've got to be vegan, you've got to be vegan. No, we don't. I don't agree with veganism for my own reasons. I'm an evolutionist. I'm a scientist, so I'm an evolutionist. And I know that there are vestigial artifacts in our body that relate back to creatures we once were. Now, once upon a time, by once upon a time, I'm going back millions of years, where we ate a plant-only diet, which is where our appendix comes from. However, we have not used our appendix in so long that it becomes toxic. And our body can no longer pull the nutrients it needs out of plant food, it needs them out of meat. So our bodies have evolved to eat meat. Now we eat cattle, so we eat cow, sheep, goat, chicken, turkeys, etc. We do eat slightly more exotic meats. There are some people that even eat human meat, but I'm never going to try that. Sorry, but no, that is, oh god no. But apparently, if, say I was to offer to somebody else for them to eat some of my flesh, say a muscle out of my leg or something, that would be characterised as vegan because I'm giving them permission. Bet you didn't know that. This is one, and I'm probably going to sound like the vegan cheater on this one, and I might even stumble over this word. I don't know why, because I know this word. She over-identifies with the animals. She essentially gives them a personality. She's not the only one that does this. Nick Ricardo's done this. A lot of them do this, where they think that, now, to a point, some animals do have personalities. I'm going to use my dogs as an example. I did have 5, but we now have 4, and they all live with my mum. And 4 of them, out of the 4 of them, they are all crazy. There's Gizzy, who's laid back, sleeps a lot, very chill, but he's very, very protective. Then you've got little Anna, who's just a live wire, and then you've got the sisters, who are complete opposites. One's a live wire and one's chilled out. So, yes, I can understand with things like dogs, because they are a huge factor in our lives. However, when you're talking about cows, sheep, fish, crustaceans, chickens, that's a bit of a stretch. She also ignores the science fact that we are meant to eat meat. Perfect example. Most people cannot extract B12 out of seeds. It's not possible. They don't have the enzymes to do it. However, they do have the ability to pull it out of meat. That's what the enzymes in our body's meant for, because that's what our bodies are meant for. Now, like I say, if she wants to try and save all the animals in the world, then fine. And she says that if we stop eating meat and we stop feeding the animals grain, that means we can feed the world's hungry. It's never going to happen. It's too much of a capitalist society, because they won't do that unless there's something in it for them. And 2, if you were to stop killing cattle, one of 2 things would happen. We would be overrun. Oh no, sorry, 3 things would happen. We would be overrun by cattle, because we're not eating them. We would end up having them as pets, because they are so domesticated that even if you leave them in the middle of a field, other than grazing, they won't have a clue what to do. And 3rd one, they'd just all be wiped out, because there's no need for them. And their population wouldn't level out, because there's nothing to stop them, there's nothing to kill them anymore. A lot of the bigger animals that would normally kill things like cattle don't exist in countries like England. I think cattle's probably the biggest animals we have. Cattle's and moose. And there's not very many places we have moose, and the only place we have things like lions and tigers and animals like that is in zoos. So, the natural enemies of the cattle are very few and far between in countries like this. Like I say, in this country, veganism isn't that sustainable. It's just not, affordable-wise. It is extremely expensive in this country to be vegan. Perfect example. I can get 6 pints of milk for £1.50. However, if I want almond milk for about 2 pints, you're talking £1.50. And I can't. And the other thing with me is I have a high sensitivity to soy and rice. So, what would I eat? If I turn into a vegan, I can't have soy and I can't have rice. So, and I can't eat corn either because it makes me feel sick. And there's a lot of the fruits and vegetables I can't eat because of my intestinal issues. So, she doesn't think of things like that. There are people with medical conditions that have an effect on their ability to eat certain things. So, anyway, I've rambled on for long enough. So, with that being said, I shall see you tomorrow. Like I said, I think today I'm going to do a Writers Wednesday. Tomorrow I might do a Writers Wednesday. Oh yes, I had an announcement as well. I have a sale tomorrow, the day after this goes up, for these two books. These two are on sale tomorrow for celebration for summer solstice, and it's also my wedding anniversary. So it's a double celebration for me. So if you head down to my writers page, my authors page down below, click on that, you'll be able to find the links to the books from there. The print is still full price, but the Kindle is on sale for 99 cents or 99p, whichever one. It should be on sale anyway. So these are on sale tomorrow. So if you want to get them, get them. Like I said, tomorrow I might do a readout of first chapter of this one. So I might do a readout of that. Just a bit of a teaser. Just a teaser. But there will be something up for tomorrow, whether it's a read through of one of them or whether it's something else, I don't know yet. But I'm sure I can think of something. So, have fun, stay safe, and I will see you soon.